Welcome to Mind Your Matter. I'm Jody.
I'm Shannon, and let's get into the conversation.
So, just to continue what we're already discussing, because this is the topic of the day, what I have seen people do is because we're so enamored with the 3D, let's go in through the body to hack the consciousness. Because, like what you're saying, it's like, well, the consciousness is the thing. This field of awareness is the thing that's actually projecting the body, the life, the circumstance, the whatever. And people want to say, oh, well, if that's the case, let's just work our way backwards, back into the consciousness. Let's back our way into the consciousness and we'll go through the body. So we're going to go through the favorite thing that everyone loves to talk about, which is the nervous system. Or like what you just said, Shannon, like fascia work. Listen, I don't have any problem doing fascia work. Like, your fascia needs to be hydrated. It needs to be fluid. It needs to move. If it's not and it's stuck and you're, solid as a rock inside your body, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And also, like, there's so much more to this conversation than let me get a fascia blaster and let me blast my fascia to get rid of my wrinkles, my cellulite, my this, my that. It's just we're really silly. And I'm just talking generally speaking in the way that I look at the world. And we were just having this conversation, so I want to bring it back to this space in a way that everybody can hear and understand. It's like all of the conversation around regulating your nervous system. I don't think it's like what's the movie Princess Bride, where the guy's always constantly like, that's inconceivable, and he says it all the time, and the guy says, I do not think that means what do you think it means. That's how I feel when I see people constantly posting all this regulate your nervous system, regulate your nervous system. It's like, what are you actually saying?
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. The nervous system is not, it's a response system. It's a communication system, a response system in the body. Like it's supposed to be dysregulated sometimes, right? If something happens, your nervous system, your heart rate's supposed to get elevated and you're supposed to feel shaky. And you know what I mean? These things are supposed to happen. And I get that people are talking about, like, okay, but this is happening to me when it's not supposed to be happening. Okay, well, cool. I don't want to bypass the why that's actually happening, though, right? Because then, like, I just feel like at this point, like, we're just patching holes at the bottom of a boat, right? And there's 50 million holes, and I'm just patching one and patching another one, and that hole springs back up. And I just keep, you know what I mean? I just literally keep having to do patchwork instead of figuring out, okay, why do we have all these holes? Like, what's going on, right? Oh, like somebody's shooting my boat. Okay, great, right? Like, this is a totally different thing than what I thought was happening. That's what I wish that people would get to. And that to me is that issue of what message is your nervous system receiving constantly that it's responding to in this way, right? What's going on? And I think I've talked about that. My particular message sometimes that really loves to play on repeat, and I've just really figured this out over the last couple of months, so I'm fascinated by the whole concept, but is this I can't, right? Ooh, I can't. Oh, that feels hard. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't want to. I can't. Like, it's just I can't, right? And then anytime I start feeling like something is difficult or something has presented a challenge to me in some way, my nervous system will absolutely get dysregulated by this, right? So is the whole point then for me to start calming down and getting okay with the message of I can't? I don't think that's the answer, right? Or do we become somebody who doesn't have that message or believe that message?
Right. And can we just clear up that when we're saying that the nervous system needs to be regulated, what we're saying is that we're not literally stuck with the gear in fight, flight, fawn, freeze, or whatever 24/7.
Right.
All we mean is that the system knows how to respond appropriately.
Right.
At all times. That's what it is. It's not like you're blissed out. It's not like you're totally calm when you should be excited. It's not that, obviously, right? And so I think you and I are both having the conversation around like, this is how it tends to get used. Like, you just need to calm down, right? Like, everyone knows you don't tell a woman that whenever she's in a state, you know? You just need to calm
Unless
down.
you're
Like, yeah,
right.
I feel like, and not everybody's doing this. Of course, not everybody's doing this. I just, in my experience online, people are saying this. It's like, do you know what you're saying? I do not think that means what you think it means. It's that kind of thing. And we're talking about this specifically because this is the method by which we want to go heal our lives. And we don't even understand what we're saying. We don't understand what's going on. And then it's taking all this time. It's such a long, arduous process. And all we're doing, like you said, is just like putting little patches on a boat that has tons of holes in it and going, why am I still sinking? I don't understand why I can't keep this water out of my boat. I don't understand. It's like, first of all, you need a new boat. You need to get out of the water. You need, like there's all these other things that need to be addressed that you're totally not looking at. And you're just like, I need some more tape, please. More tape. Can I get one more tool to regulate my nervous system? That would be great. Thanks so much. And it's like, we're missing it. And the thing that I think is so important that you and I said was valuable to have this in having this conversation is like, when I want to approach my life, the landscape of my life or my body or my health or my business or my finances or whatever, and I'm doing it from the level of my body, I am already at a disadvantage. And I've already decided that I actually don't want to heal. I want to just put a band-aid on something. I just want a little pain remedy, make the pain go away. Um, Coming at our life from the level of our body, from the level of our physical form, and not just our body, but other things in our life is like, we've said this 1,000 times, but it's like I watch people constantly like rewire your nervous system. You can't hold more money because you need to rewire your nervous system. Um, can we just talk about how that's just a half truth? And in my opinion, a half truth is a whole lie. So can we just talk about that? Because what?
Yeah. I think I really think it's the new spiritual bypassing. I think that nervous system work on a whole is the new spiritual bypassing, right? Because it really is like, okay, well, I feel XYZ about this thing. Okay, let me just do some breath work and get myself to calm down. Let me just have some pretty words about this thing so that I can feel better about it and calm down, right? Like, no, that's not the answer, right? Because and so here's the thing. I have spoken with people who are like, okay, but nervous system work really helped with XYZ thing. Okay, okay. Where did another hole spring up?
That that
And
part.
that's what I've heard. Like I've heard people that have done nervous system work for money, right? And it's like, oh, but then this relationship fell apart. Right. Because who you believe that you are is going to come through. Right? You might be patching that hole in your boat, but you're still not asking, why am I on the water? Why am I in the boat to begin with? Why am I out here? What's going on? Right? You're literally just trying to address this one little thing. That's why I don't like the whole concept of hacking anything, biohacking or spiritual hacking or any of that kind of stuff, because you can't hack your way out of your self concept, who you believe that you are, and how you're expressing in the world. It's not a thing.
Not through your body, you sure can't. You're gonna have to have everything recoded for you at a God level. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna do this. Like that's why we're having this conversation. It's like you're not going to do enough fascia work that suddenly you have now become this person that doesn't have challenge here and there, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to hit a new place where it's like, oh, I can hold more. I can do more. Great. That's wonderful. And then you're going to hit a block again. And you're going to be like, I thought I dealt with this. I thought I already did this. Why is this still coming up? There must be something else in my system that I don't know is there.
Yeah.
And it's like, until we, oh gosh, the approaching everything at the level of the body. It's just literally like you can't trust your body.
Wherever you go, there you are, right? Like that's it. Wherever you go, there you are. Like whatever work you do, you are still at the center of that. That personality, that self-concept is the one telling you you have the nervous system issue to begin with, right? Like
Right.
really. That's the one where you when you see the Instagram ad when you're doom scrolling and it's like, if you've tried everything, maybe you haven't tried nervous system work and you're like, oh, maybe that's it, right? Maybe this is the missing piece. Maybe this is the key. Maybe, and you know, if it involves your body, it's probably not the the missing piece or the key.
It's the thing. Take care of your body. Eat good food. Get
Yeah,
sleep. Get sleep. Go outside. Be in the sun.
no,
Do all those things. But when you start doing them at the level of this is my answer. No, 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 no. Your body is an effect. How many times? Let's say it again. Your body is an effect. That's all it is.
right.
It is a byproduct of what is happening in your energetic field. Your consciousness pushes it out and goes, this is who I think I am. This is the way I patterned myself, you know? And we solidify those patterns, we regurgitate the same thoughts and feelings, and then have the audacity to go into a practice that wants to help us go inward, back into that field of awareness, and say, I just couldn't sit there. I just couldn't sit through that. My body was hurting. My body was irritated. Right. Because it's in
My
charge.
mind, my mind, that's what I always hear, right? My mind was all over the place. I was dealing with monkey mind and my brain was all over the place. Mm-hmm.
Because that's what's in charge. And you are not.
Right.
You are not in charge. And so, because you are not in charge, you have no creative power in your space. You're just regurgitating the same things over and over again. And then, and I hear people be like, this emotion came up and I felt this and it just made me so upset. Or, I got so distracted by this emotion, I couldn't even finish, my meditation, or I couldn't finish, taking time for myself. I couldn't focus anymore. It just completely blindsided, completely distracted me. It's like, right. So who's going to be in charge? The story, your body, your emotions? Because, okay, if they are, then you're just going to keep getting the same thing you've been getting. I don't care how many times you tap. Okay. I don't care how much you do that. I don't care how much you go stand in the grass barefooted to ground. Those are temporary fixes. When I see someone post a reel that I tapped my way into millions of dollars, I'm like, no, no, you did not. No, you didn't. Stop it right now. She just muted herself so she could laugh at that. I see this stuff online and I'm like, my favorite thing to say. My favorite thing to say. Cut the shit. Literally cut the shit. You did not. And you might have been doing that and maybe that helps you. Like maybe it helps you get centered, or it helps you stop all the chatter. You didn't do that to make $1 million or to grow your business or whatever. Like, because you know what? Even if you think you did, I hope you're ready to do that every day for the rest of your life, because there's going to be more problems. There's going to be more obstacles, more things coming up within you, more fear, all that stuff. Because tell me how that is literally eliminating the fear. You're not moving energy, really. You're not moving the stuff. And in my experience, unless you're doing something to literally transmute that survival crap in your life, you're not living within a healthy magnetic field. You're not. And if you're not living within a healthy magnetic field, your body can't heal itself. Literally, you want to heal, become magnetic. Like reclaim your magnetism. Literally. That's energetic, you know? You want to make life easy. You want to see things start to flow and move in your life. You're going to have to get back in charge. you standing out in the grass or getting red light therapy or whatever, cold plunging, those things are not enough to literally let you recreate who you are.
Right.
That's what you would have to do.
Right.
That is what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to become another person.
Period. Like that's really it. And that's not to say that you can't cold plunge and you can't do this thing or that thing or whatever you want to do if you enjoy it, right? If you like sitting under a red light or if you like whatever, cool, do that thing. If you like breath work, if you like awesome, I think there's a place for any of that stuff,
Yep.
right? That doesn't mean though that that is your like ticket to wholeness, right? That's the issue that I think a lot of people are trying to say. It's like, oh, okay, so I feel broken, I think is what people say, what I hear probably the most from people, right? I feel broken. Okay. Well, I don't think that any one of those practices is going to connect you with that wholeness that you're searching for, right? Like that's the issue is that if you feel like you're broken, which you're not, that's nonsense, by the way. Um, but those things are not going to take you out of that feeling. Maybe temporarily. Sure. I think all kinds of things can, ask people like drugs and alcohol do that too. And I'm not advocating for any of those things either. I'm just saying that wholeness is not found in those practices. That's not what you're getting.
Wholeness is not going to be found in the realm of separation.
No.
So when you're approaching these things from the level of your body or your physical experience, you can't reach wholeness there because wholeness isn't there. Wholeness is beyond all of this. So you have to be willing to go to the place where wholeness is. You have to be willing to tune yourself back into wholeness. That's why this doesn't work. That's why you can't approach this from the level of the 3D because the 3D is where separation is.
Right.
This is polarity. This is duality. This is all the crazy. Oh my gosh. I listen to people talk about things and I hear people say things and I'm just like, I can't talk to you. Like, what are you talking about? Because I'm talking about where God dwells. I'm talking about this place of unity. I'm talking about this place of wholeness, perfection, right? You're talking about the ego that wants to play. I had somebody respond to a post that I made on Substack about how that nuance is such a farce. Um,
Love that post, by the way.
thank you. When it
So,
comes to like, you're playing in this area of nuance, you want to stay in the gray, and that isn't helping you when it comes to your healing. And it's not helping you when it comes to relationship with God. It's not helping you because you're so like intrigued with the nuance, it's like the problem with it is that number one, nuance really puts us in a place of legalism, in my opinion. Like the more nuanced we focus on in our life, the more nuances, the more legality we have to create because now there's rules. Oh, well, that's a new circumstance. It's a different circumstance. So we got to create a rule around that. You know what I'm saying? And then in our healing, if we want to play in a nuanced way in our life and be like, I know that it's like that for so and so, but for me, I have this one other little thing that I'm doing. Like we're so freaking uniquely different. So then guess what? Whatever is available to me, it doesn't work for me. It could work for everybody else. People could have miracles all day long, but that miracle won't work for me. It won't because I have this one little thing that's different. And it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a trap, right?
it's special. It's that I need to be special. I need to be unique. I need to be all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, you already are. We don't need all that nuance. We don't need all the distraction, all the BS to
No.
be special or unique. That's ridiculous.
Well, what got thrown back at me from somebody that commented on it was like, this is a dangerous place to be because this can create spiritual arrogance and blindness, spiritual blindness specifically. Which tell me what spiritual blindness is, please enlighten me on that. But also, it was that not being willing to appreciate the gray area makes you less compassionate. And I'm like, that is such a stretch. Like, you're really reaching for something. And obviously, something happened to you in your life where you felt like you were rejected because You're different. And I can appreciate your experience and I can appreciate that that's your perspective. It is not mine. And it is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about choosing sides because I don't think that's beneficial ever. I'm not talking about any of these things. I'm bringing up the fact that most people are out here looking for how do I feel better? How do I live better? How do I experience a better experience of life? And if you're going to dance around in 3D, if you're going to dance around in the field of personality, wow, you're you're playing a game. You're playing a game that you can't win. You can't win. You you might temporarily find some little places in life where you have like reprieve, or well, that was nice, that was a good experience, and then the next thing you know, something else hits, and it's like you're right back to where you were before, or worse.
Yeah.
So none of that is helpful to us.
Suffering, right? Like check your addiction, or like your addiction to suffering at that point. 'Cause that's all I can hear. Like when you're talking about that, I'm just like, okay, so you're just telling me that you have an addiction to your suffering.
Right.
Okay.
I have an addiction to my suffering and I have a need to be right.
Right.
And so, okay, that's fine. I am hoping to communicate. That's what this conversation is for. That if you really want out, like you say you do, if you really want out, you have got to stop using the limited um entry points of this 3D realm to make your way out. Like you have to. You want out of your financial situation, you want out of your health situation, you want out of your relationship situation, whatever it is you want out of. You're not going to get there by constantly hitting it with, let's try this new method. Let me regulate my nervous system. Let me tap so I can make $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, no.
I feel like that too. So I have had a lot of people in my space over the years who will say, I want XYZ thing, right? And then they won't do whatever is necessary to actually make that happen. Like my brain does not understand that. I'll be honest. If you're one of those people and you're listening, my brain cannot comprehend it. It does not make sense to me. If I feel like I want something and this is how I know I'm going to get it, right? Like, I mean, I think the Bible's got pretty clear instructions for that, for those who are, willing slash able to read through, the stuff and kind of see what's really there. But it's literally like, okay, you've got to be a new creation, literally. Like the old one passes away and there's a new one. That does not sound like a super pleasant experience to me personally. It never has, like ever. However, I know that that's the cost, right? That's what it says. Like this is what it costs. This is what it is. So I guess my thing is at the end of the day, like, don't tell me that you want to be different if you're not willing to count that cost and pay that price. You know what I mean? Like maybe just zip it. It's kind of like somebody that was in my life once upon a time. And she was just like, oh, I really need to lose weight. I was like, okay, cool, do that. Right? Like do whatever you think you got to do to make that happen. Cool. And just like, I just, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to, I don't want to do that stuff. Like I know all the stuff I'm supposed to do. I just don't want to do it. Okay. Then you don't want it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's obviously, I'm using a very physical lens kind of perspective for this thing, but it's just like, if I know that meditation helps to put the body in its place, take the personality offline, really, and put the body in its proper place. If I know that, and then it's really hard when I sit down to do it. And let me tell you, it is often really hard when I sit down to do it. Even still, I've been meditating for a long time now. And it's still, there are times when I sit down and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm home. This is great. And there are times that I sit down and my mind is going in 8,000 different directions, and my body, I have an itch here and I'm uncomfortable and I can't sit up straight enough and whatever, right? 50,000 things are going on. And that's all right. That was that practice. And we're going to come right back to it tomorrow, right? Or later today, or right, whatever that looks like, because I know I know what the results of that are. I know what that looks like, right? I've seen enough small changes. We're already in the river. We're already in the river of change over here, right? We've seen enough small changes that we know what's going on. So we're going to keep coming back to it, not making excuses, not looking for quick fixes, because that's all the body stuff is. It's band-aids and quick fixes. And when I say fixes, I don't actually mean it's fixing anything.
No, it's the difference between I'm going to learn to live with this and I never want to have this experience ever again. That's the difference. It's like Bo always says this, and I appreciate it because he's like, you can be tired of something or you can be done with it.
Yep.
They're not the same thing. So I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm so sick and tired. How many times do you say that? Every time that comes out of your mouth, what you're saying is, I don't like it, but I'm going to learn to live with it.
Yeah.
When you say, I'm done with this, that's when you're headed into a place of there's a door available to you. You can walk through it and you can be brand new.
Yeah.
That's done. We're not talking about this anymore. We're not going to keep telling this story anymore. We're not going to keep making this be part of our personality anymore. Like, we're done.
You can remember usually where you are in time and space when you hit that point too. Like it is a place where you get so sick and tired of being sick and tired that you are done with all of that. And you can remember where you were, right? I'm like, I remember where I was. I remember looking at myself in a bathroom mirror and being like, I'm done with this, done with this, whatever it takes to get out of this. I'm
That's
done.
that's what it requires, right? Otherwise, we're going to keep looking online, finding the next reel that's going to have a little bit of information of try this thing out. You know what you need? You need to do this. You know what you need? You need to buy this program. You know what you need? You need to, apply this thing to your face, to your body. You know what you need? You need this little injection into your body. That's what's going. Listen, you can alter matter. I'm not here to argue that at all. You can alter some things. You cannot create permanent change in the 3D. And I don't even care y'all want to bring up freaking plastic surgery or whatever. That's give it some time. Big old
Yes.
like again. Just give
Go
it some
read go read Psycho-Cybernetics. Like that
time.
guy, he was a plastic surgeon who wrote that book and talked about all of the shortcomings of that because everything came down to self-concept. Every single thing came down to self-concept. And it does. And it does not matter like what you want to call that thing. That is how you experience yourself is how you will express in the world. The end.
Yep. Right. And so chasing these things that you say you want while you're still convinced that you are whoever you think you are right now. Neither the twain shall meet. They are not going to be friends, okay? Because the thing that you say that you want, and listen, when desire shows up, when you become aware of something that you desire in your life, that is an indication it's already here and it's already available to you. Now, if you're like, but I don't have it in my life, right? Because you're going to have to tune in and be something different to actually pull it into the 3D.
Well, I think, yes. And I'm like, it's already there usually. Like, not to be whatever, but usually the times that I have wanted something and I have finally gotten myself into alignment with that thing, the way was so clear. Like, it was so obvious, like the way that it came in. It wasn't something where it's like, and bam, out of the sky and out of, no, it's usually in a way that I would not have thought was possible because I just couldn't see it at the time. I just couldn't see it. It's not like some lightning strike, usually. I mean, I guess it could be, but for me, it's usually like a subtle thing, like, oh, now I opened my awareness to that, and there that was. Okay.
Right. It's the stories. It's the stories that are real and legitimate of people going, I had cancer and um I had tried everything. I had done all the treatments and nothing was helping. And then I just decided I don't want to be this bitter person anymore. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to start living my life in a state of gratitude. And I just started focusing on being happy and being content and being grateful in my life. And what do you know? The cancer is in remission. The cancer's gone. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what this requires. You guys aren't going to do that hacking your nervous system. You're going
Right.
to have to learn how to become another person.
Right.
If you're the grouchy, overworked, stressed, maxed out, whatever person who's on edge all the time, who's having hormone issues, who's having sex drive issues, who's having, breakouts, who's having hair loss, who's having weight issues. You want to get the hair cream, you want to get the face cream, you want to get the pill, you want to get the, diet plan. Have at it. Have at it. But while you're doing that and you're still being the embittered person, the maxed out person, the stressed out person, the no sleep having person, you are putting the tape on the hole in the boat and it's going to hold for a little while.
Yep.
And then you're going to,
Brings up.
yep. And then you're going to meet yourself again. This is why you cannot let the body be the master. You can't let the body be the master. The body is the place of emotion. The body is the place of the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is literally just installed to operate on default. And that's good. That's good because it keeps you alive. It will keep you alive as long as it possibly can while you're over there lost in the sauce of the 3D, right? So default is good. God is all about efficiency. Default is very efficient because I just go run the program I've always run. I just run the emotion I've always run. I just run the thoughts I've always run. I just do that. That's my default.
Yeah.
Easy, easy peasy. But what we're here to talk to you about is about living at the place where you are the most vital, the most expansive, the most abundant, the most clear, the most creative, the most limitless, right? That's going to require that you get out of default mode. You
Yeah.
have to get out of default mode. And this is not like, control alt delete. Let's see. It's like, no, you're going to have to literally reboot the system. You're going to have to install new software. You're going to have to reprogram, you know, and the program you've been running is this version of you that you're out in the world conveying all the time, that you're putting band-aids on, that you're going to classes to try to, enhance, and that you're taking time to go inject yourself with things to try to enhance. We don't need to enhance this version. We need a new version, an entirely new version from a psychological, spiritual, conscious level. That's what it takes. Now you're going somewhere. You know what I mean? Like now life can start to really happen for you. But it's not going to work if you're trying to go back. We've already talked about this. You want to go back to the old you want to go back to that other version, you want to go back to your 19-year-old self, your 30-year-old self, whatever that nonsense is. None of that.
We don't go backwards.
Don't go back ever.
Right.
Like ever. It's not even real. Like even if you think you are, like, oh, I was friends with this person a long time ago and we lost touch and now we're back in touch. No, you're back, is that right? Tell me more about that, because I can guarantee that you're either going to shift, evolve, and both of you are going to meet up, and now you're new versions of yourself. So you're not going back to that old relationship, no matter what you think. Or if you attempt to, it's just going to spit you out like it did the first time, only faster and harder. So that's what happens. You want to go back to an old job, you want to go back to an old boss, you want to go back to an old way that you used to do things. You're a different person now, even if you haven't been trying.
Right.
And I'm saying that because as you continue to move through time and space, things begin to shift and change for you, even so very slightly, you know, um, imperceptibly sometimes, I think, for most people. And it doesn't mean that you've gotten rid of all of your rigid beliefs. It doesn't mean any of that. It's just like there are things that do begin to adjust themselves as you move through time and space. So going back is not real. And I know people who try to do it all the time. They literally try to live there in the past. They talk about it all the time. They glorify it all the time. And these are the same people that they age faster than everyone else around me. Their body is broken down. They're constantly talking about what new medication they need to get on or what surgery they're going to have. They're talking about how they feel stuck in their business. They feel stuck in their finances. They feel stuck in their relationships. I can't imagine why. Cannot imagine why. So anyway, that's my little tirade here for the moment. But this conversation is important because if we let the body be the master, we will be subject to the laws of the body.
Yes. Yes. And those laws are pretty absolute. You see them at work, kind of all the time. Like, and it doesn't matter what system you're in alignment with, whether you're in the, Western medical kind of realm or the alternative kind of path or, GNM or energy or right, whatever. Same across the board. It's that the body keeps the score. There's a book, there's a whole book about it. There's another system for you. But like, no matter what, it's that the body is telling the story. The body is the one keeping and recording and expressing the experience. That's it. And so we can live according to that, right? I can live according to, okay, well, every time I get angry, I have a territorial issue and I get gastritis, or an indigestible morsel and I have stomach issues, or a hard pill to swallow and I got strep throat again, or right, like whatever that looks like. We can live by default there. And I hear GNM people talk all the time like, okay, well, these are the 5 biological laws and this is how it has to happen. Absolutely, this is how it has to happen if you're living according to the body and you've made the body the master. Absolutely. Do I think it's possible to live beyond those biological laws? Yeah. And I think people do it all the time. I think I've seen a whole bunch of people do it. I think I've done it in loads of ways, right? Because I think even when you're becoming a different person, we're not even talking about I was here and now I'm over here, this completely new person. I think once you're even in the becoming of that, your awareness expands. You start dropping off old pieces of yourself, right? Like things that used to really piss me off don't in the same way. It's like, oh, this doesn't have a charge anymore, right? This doesn't have a hold on me. This thing that maybe used to would have been a really hard pill to swallow is kind of like, all right, yeah, I'm all right with that. I don't feel anything about that one way or the other anymore, right? That's showing a shift in consciousness. When you have that shift in consciousness, you move away from being subject to your biology.
Well, and you shift your biology.
Yes.
I mean, that's psycho-cybernetics. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's I have a new concept. Now my biology is shifted. I'm obviously people were doing it mechanically and they were going in and like having plastic surgery, but ultimately in that book, I mean, he's talking about the fact that it's this self-concept is what literally just changes and shifts everything. Science has proven that this impacts our immune response. This impacts our blood pressure. It impacts our cellular expression, our genetic expression. We can upregulate, downregulate genes just by changing the concept of ourself and choosing to change, like literally choosing to change at a core level. So,
And for us and down our family line too, right? That's epigenetics. Like we have epigenetic changes. We have generational changes that can happen. That's mind blowing.
it's massive. This is why I love memory weaving, because memory weaving is I'm going in at the point of information, right? I'm going in at the point of the data that's been installed into the system that says this is the pattern we run.
Yeah.
And even though I'm touching that pattern and I'm touching that information and I am uninstalling that and I am reinstalling new information, um, when it literally impacts the field,
Yeah.
everything in the field changes. Your family is in your field, your experience of life is in your field. So everything gets shifted and changed. and it's powerful. And so it's like we can we can affect our lives at deep levels if we're willing to go to the place where we're really rooted. You know, we're not rooted in the body. The body is an effect. Let me say it again for the 15th time, however many times I need to say it so that people get it. But I love that you brought up the GNM stuff, Shannon, because, you know, GNM says these are the 5 biological laws. And I think you've told me before that GNM even says, like, for however long you were in the state of conflict, that's how long the healing will take. Something
That
around.
the severity and the length of time. Yes. Yeah. Can you imagine? Like I look at that. I look at the conflicts that I went through like in my childhood and I'm like with where I, with where I started versus like where I actually like what maybe they got resolved or whatever. Like I don't know. I could be dead like at the end of resolving one of those things. Realistically, you know what I mean? Like it's intense. Those biological laws are intense. And this is why I've said for anybody who's listened to me for any length of time, I love GNM for explaining the biology, right? It's great for if you're over here freaked out about something. Okay, well, let's not freak out about it, right? Because your body's just running a biological process. So I love GNM for the explanatory purpose, right? But when we start looking to that to solve anything or to, I don't know, like when we get into that diagnosis, prognosis, like, oh, this is how long it's going to take now. No, 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 no. I don't want anybody using it for that, right? Because to me, what it's saying is this is what I believed about this for a long time, right? Okay, so I have been a person who had territorial anger issues. I've been a person who looks at this like this, if I'm a big indigestible morsels person, as clearly I have been, you just heard it earlier with my I can't, right? If that's not an indigestible morsel, amongst other things, I don't know what is. But if I were supposed to be subject to that forever, that's a miserable thought to me. Like, okay, so we can never get out of it. No, no, you can't get out of it while you're living by it, right? If you want to live by those laws, you will die by those laws. That's just how it's going to work. But it's like we're not subject to that once we come off autopilot. That's
Yep.
the coolest thing in the world to me. You don't have to be subject to that.
Right. This is the good news. This is the good news. The good news is you get to live in the realm of supernatural if you want to. Because I've seen people and I've witnessed stories of people literally miraculously curing terminal illness, things that were said to be, set in stone, prognosis, diagnosis, all of that stuff. And then they decided that's not going to be true for me.
Yeah.
That's not going to be my path. I'm done with that version of me that wanted to live the life that led to that manifestation.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm done with being a person who lives by default. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going to
done
live.
with all the old stories. This is the hard thing, right? I was thinking about this because of a conversation that you and I've had previously, but I was thinking about this yesterday. Something came up, and just the labels that we can put on ourselves about things is insane, right? Like, I'm going to use one just from a conversation that we had, and just because I think it rings true for so many people. But this whole concept of being like a caregiver, a caretaker. And I think I think a lot of women definitely get saddled with this. I'm not saying that men don't too, but definitely I feel like it's in the DNA for women. And we get into this place like, okay, well, I'm a caregiver, I'm a caretaker. That's who I am. That's what I do. And it's like, okay, that's a story and an identity all wrapped up together. And the life that you create out of that is a burden, period, right? The outpicturing of that, how could it not be? Because it's literally like when people tell me this is another one, right? People love to put this one on their resumes. I'm a problem solver. Okay, cool. Tell me that you attract problems and drama without telling me that you attract, right? Like, because that's literally part of your identity. And it then is part of your story. And you are creating your external reality based off of that label. that you gave yourself of problem solver. So don't be surprised when the problems come knocking at your door, all like
24/7, 24/7. Ask me how I know.
right, a fixer. I used to call myself a fixer because somebody called me that once and I thought it was hysterical, right? Like, oh, such a fixer. It's all games until every person in your space is somebody who needs fixing.
Oh, just watch Scandal. You can be Kerry Washington all day long. You want to be a professional fixer? Go do it. Look at her life, watch that play out. If that's for you, hey, more power to you. But that is insane,
Yeah.
right? There's a thrill, there's a rush, there's the adrenaline thing that pumps whenever you like get to solve people's problems and you are the hero and everything and you're so needed and you're so sought after
Yeah, you're so
because
special.
right,
Right.
right.
We're back to that again. Like, I need to be special. I need to be unique. I need to be chosen. I need to be. And again, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Spoiler alert, you already are. All of
Oh,
the things. You are special and chosen and unique and a beautiful, amazing soul.
right.
Already. Already. And guess what? You don't have to be a fixer and you don't have to be a problem solver and you don't have to be any of those things in order to be special and chosen and unique and beautiful and amazing.
Nope. Not it is not necessary. And that is the part that it's like this is the difficulty of like peeling ourselves away from that really ingrained identity of this is who I am and really just the story around even the stories around the story. You know what I'm saying? Like how we want to go and analyze and scrutinize and understand and dig in. I just it exhausts me now in my life. I'm like I don't want to talk about it.
No,
I don't want to look at the issue I have from when I was 5 because
no,
this thing happened in my life. Like I'm done with that. I I'm not that person anymore. And if I keep approaching my circumstances at the level of my nervous system, at the level of what my body can hold, at the level of all these things, then all I can do is meet my body where the tension is, where the block is, and then wrestle with it through journaling, through tapping, through whatever little method I want to use, and hope that that was enough to clear it out. You know, um, I
and
was
be disappointed when it wasn't. That's the thing, right? Because that's what everybody, like, you and I've had this conversation that, I would wrestle with things and just go around in a loop with it and think I was doing so much better for a while and then come right back to it and be like, oh, I always end up here. I always end up back here in this space. And that's what I hear from so many people, right? I always end up back here. Yes, because wherever you go, there you are, right?
right,
Like, you are
right.
still that same person. I'm not talking about location wise, although that definitely applies too. Like, it literally is you just chasing your own tail. You're just chasing and chasing instead of letting that old version of yourself go. Let that version, let those labels, let all of that other stuff go. Let it go. Let it die and see what's left. And here's the thing, that is scary. It's
Yeah.
scary. And I get that because I have felt that fear. And in my opinion, that fear is a necessity. You start to embrace that fear. You start to like that fear. You start to befriend that fear and recognize it for the gift that it is. Right?
Keep us alive. The fear will keep us alive for, it keeps us in default, you know. It is useful in that way.
Yes, it's you. So yeah, like if you get a creepy feeling because some dude's following you in the parking lot at night, whatever, that fear is helpful because it's telling you, hey, get ready because creepo behind you is acting funny. Okay, cool, right? That's a helpful fear. But when I have a fear around moving out of an old identity and starting something different, that's not the same. The creepo is me. The creepo following me is me at that point, right? That's the reality. So that fear, and then they think this is where people will go into that, like, okay, well, that's what nervous system work is for. No, no, because nervous system is going to have me bypassing, like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to get to where I'm not afraid anymore. No, no, In that case, I want to feel the fear and I want to say, cool, what this fear is trying to tell me is we've never gone here before. I've never done this before. I am becoming a new version of myself. I am now becoming a version of me who does this scary thing I've never done before. Awesome.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
That's the kind of fear that I want to embrace. That's the kind of fear that I want to say, aha, yes, I feel this fear and this is good. And we're going to move right on through it. I don't want to stop feeling that because that fear is letting me know you're moving into the unknown. You're
Right.
moving right into the unknown. I want to say, yay, fear, because I want to be in the unknown. That's exciting.
Yes. I love this. And it's making me think about the 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 approach that's the right approach to take whenever you're wanting to actually shift. And it's so clear and succinct, and it's the challenging part. Did you ever see the little skit that Bob Newhart did years ago? I think it was on Yes.
My favorite thing, I've sent that to more people than I can count.
Yes. Be anything more true, more real. Like they come in and sit down in his office and they're like, so I have this fear whenever I'm like in closed spaces and I get in closed spaces, like I feel claustrophobic and I don't know what to do about it. And he's like, stop it. And they're like, what? And he's like, stop it. Just stop it. Yeah, don't do that anymore. Just stop doing that. And people are just like, this is your advice, you know? And it's this comical, exchange. And yet, hello, you you want to talk about it? Let's dredge it up. Let's talk about how this is because your mother did this thing to you whenever you were 5. Like, do you understand? Like, we're not curing anything. We're acting like processing our feelings is getting us somewhere. And all it is doing is keeping us on the wheel here in the 3D.
Right.
That's all we're doing. We're
Yeah, you already lived through it once. How many times do you need to relive it in order to process it? Like, what does that even mean?
soothing ourselves. So for you, Shannon, like bringing up the fact that there is fear, like whenever I come into that place of I don't get this, I don't know this, it's like, yes, good. There's my little temperature gauge. Oh, I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling afraid of this. Good, 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 good. And also, a lot of people will get there and go, yeah, I just feel like I'm feeling called to like move back to this place. I'm feeling called to go. It's like, no, you hit up against your fear and your body took over.
Yeah.
And your body said, oh, we're going to run default mode. Let's go be back with our old friends. Let's go move back where our family is. Let's go back to the old job. Let's go do the thing. You know what? Let's just go get a job where we are, even though it's not what we want to do, but we know how to do that. Let's do that because we know how to run that all day long. No, 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 no. There's no need for you to, push through the fear. Don't push through the fear. You don't know what's on the other side of that. And it's like, we could keep doing that. We could keep rehashing it. We could keep talking about it. We could keep asking over and over again. And what does that mean? And so, what does that mean about you? And when you have that thing, what is that going to mean about you? And then, what is that going to mean? If we could literally stop making meaning out of everything, it would be so much easier to walk into our next level.
Yeah.
Because now I'm detached. I don't need to make it mean anything about me. I don't need to make it mean anything about life.
Right.
If I make more money, I don't need to make that mean anything. If I make less money, I don't need to make that mean anything. If I have the love of my life, I don't need to make it mean anything. And if I'm still in a place of singleness, I don't need to make that mean anything. Do you know what I'm like? All of that is all wrapped up in this thing of like, I have to improve. I have to get better. I have to go find the remedy. I have to go. There's all this meaning tangled up in it. And then we can't just stop it.
Right.
Just stop it. What
That's
are you
right.
what are you over there freaking, laboring over in your mind and your emotions? What are you over there dredging up, trying
Yeah.
to
What's your story?
analyze?
What's your story? Stop it.
Yeah. If it's a story, that means you've made it mean something. How about we don't do that anymore? You don't even know what anything means. It's what I love about A Course in Miracles. You don't know what anything means. You don't know this pillow, this bed, this room, you don't know what it means. So why are you making it mean anything? Because you don't understand it. You don't understand anything. And when
It's
you
the prevalent alien approach, right? Like if you come at everything like this is your first day on the planet, you're like, I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm just here. I'm just checking things out, just hanging out, just seeing how things go. It's a totally different kind of space. Like,
right. And if you woke up every morning and put your feet on the floor out of your bed and just started to sit there from a place of like, this is my first day here. This is my first day here. I'm brand new. I can choose anything I want. Are you really going to go sit and try to rehash yesterday's problems?
right?
Your body wants to.
Yes.
That's why you can't trust it. Your body,
Or or it wants to future project based on those past experiences.
yep,
We get one of those two things. We don't want to be right here. I want to be back there or thinking about what's up there.
right. And if we could somehow bring ourselves to a place of, I drop all that, I just drop it. What's his name? Gay Hendricks from The Big Leap. He's like, you if you're having this situation, that situation, you just think of it like a tennis ball in your hand. Like you just drop it. It's the same. Stop it. Drop it. Whatever. Don't keep on in that thing anymore. If it's causing you trouble, if it's giving you irritation, then stop. Otherwise, let's talk about how you're, like you said, Shannon, how you're addicted to suffering.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
You're addicted to your labels, you're addicted to whatever. Like it is absolutely an addiction.
Yeah.
Like all of that.
Codependent relationship for sure.
It is. And you're getting out of it exactly what you're putting into it. So that means all of the issues in your body, the anxiety, all the other stuff, you're getting out of it exactly what you're putting into it. Rest assured, it's not a problem. It's that's your biology doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Right.
You can't
It-
get mad.
yeah. Yeah. It's the moment of decision. Like, am I going to continue to just let my body run on its default program? Or am I going to get back in charge in my life and say, I'm the master, I'm the creator, I decide.
Yeah.
Now, body, you're going to do what I say. I'm going to retrain you, body. I'm going to teach you something new. We're going to be different. We're going to change our biology. We're going to change how we express in the world.
Yeah.
We're going to stop all this craziness and we're going to do something different. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah. And your body may be really resistant to that at first. And when I say body, I also mean your external world, right? Your entire external world might be resistant off the drop to that. Um, like the Bible says, don't grow weary in doing good, because at the proper time, you're going to reap the harvest of that. That's the reality. Is if you do that work to become a different version of you, the stuff will come. It is absolutely that if you build it, they will come. If you sit still with yourself, your real self, all of the things that you're wanting will materialize. And I've seen so much of this in my own life, honestly. It's amazing. Like I laugh all the time because I'll joke with myself that I'm the person where I'll create something really cool in my life. With meditation or with whatever. It really is with that magnetism, with that getting back to who I really am and what that looks and feels like. You get into that kind of flow space, and then maybe you hit a bump, right? Because you're hitting up against some old programming, some old stuff. And instead of, for the longest time, instead of being like, okay, cool, that's an old thing that I used to believe that I'm seeing now pop up, I would be like, oh no, what do I do? And what's wrong? And I would freak out and lose my mind and forget all about all of the amazing things I just created, right? So I would always say, call me Israel, right? Because Israel was, they were amazing at that in the Bible of like, that God did this amazing thing for us, but he's gone for all of 3.2 seconds. And now we're losing our collective minds and, sacrificing to Baal or whatever. And I'm like, this is me in every process that I ever have. And so now it's very much like, let's look for those kind of places when they come up, those bumps, and know that that's exactly, it's everything in me trying to pull me back to the default. That's all. That's all. We're going someplace we've never been before. It's exciting. And for your subconscious, for your body, for all of those things, that is terrifying. To go someplace and do something that you have not done before is terrifying. To the body, to the biological program, that can equal death, right? The unknown can equal death. So when you feel deathly afraid to take the next step, no, you might be onto something. This might be the way.
I love it. I love that because the opposite of it is people always being like, it just felt right. It just felt right to go do this thing. It's like, no, it felt comfortable. It felt familiar, right? Not that you have to be terrified every time you do something and that's how you know it's right. That's not at all what we're saying. It's just people are so silly and letting the body run them that it's like, it just felt good. That made me feel so good to be it's like it feels familiar to your body. You don't we need practice at the discernment between what is keeping us running in our pattern that is not working, that we don't want, and what is genuinely taking us into the next level, the next iteration, the freedom that we say that we're really after in our life. So,
Yeah.
and there it is. So, this is the final episode of this season. And
Yes.
we will be back for season 2. So stay tuned to our channel. Stay tuned to our information, Instagram, YouTube, Substack. We'll be sharing with you guys when we get ready to launch season 2. We really appreciate you guys sitting here, being with us, being part of the conversation. Hopefully you're having a little bit of conversation on your own when you're listening, talking back to us, talking at us. You can always leave comments below the show. So thank you so much. Jody and Shannon out. Till the next one.